Hi everybody, welcome to another video from Play-agricola.com's France Deck Release Tournament. We're watching the second game in round 2, the round of 16, featuring Hunter, Bigfoot, Sebosch, and JML. The score from the last game, Bigfoot and Hunter tied for 49, Sebosch at 46, and JML at 43. And I have 3 very experienced players on the cast today, so I'm going to be handing it over to Joe, Gavi, and Matt.
Thanks, William. Excited to be part of this cast here. Game 2 amongst these guys here. You guys should be able to see the scores on the screen there. I'll be interested to see how the players react and if they make any different decisions due to the scores of the first game or not.
So, and everyone, this is Matt, known as MattTheLesser on the site. I didn't actually get a chance to watch the first game. I saw the score recap, but do one of you guys want to give a quick recap of sort of the major strategies that we saw?
I'm going to let Joe do that. I wasn't there either.
Honestly, I wasn't there either. I know that Hunter, with his first pick, took Milking Hand. So I don't know if he had the strongest hand or not, but yeah, I just know the scores as well.
Okay, well, I guess we'll get to see them from the beginning then. So for anyone who's not familiar with the format of the tournament, the 4 players play 2 games per round, and the top 2 aggregate scores advance. We've posted the previous scores, but it's Bigfoot and Hunter tied with 49, so they're in the lead going into this second round, and they're currently drafting their minors, as you can see on the screen. So we'll have the game started in about 5 minutes or so.
And really, it's a very close margin. I've seen in the first round some games where they go into game 2 and there's a 20-point margin between first and last place, and an 8-point margin between first and second place. That was my case. Anyone can go ahead.
Indeed, and we can talk interestingly a little.
If JML pulls.
Hey guys, sorry, I'm having some sound issues. Is it just me, or are you guys noticing them as well?
We're having them too.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
You're fine though, William.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna say, if something you guys want to talk about, what are your thoughts on the France deck? What are some of your favorite cards, and what are your thoughts on the tournament so far?
Sure. I love the France deck. Initially, there was a little bit of discussion about if the cards are narrowly defined strategy cards or not. A couple are, for sure. I think overall, though, France has more of an emphasis toward smaller farms and also toward crop development, if I had to pick 2 major themes. But that's just for me personally.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that it provides some, alternative ways, particularly at the outset of the game, to, not just be rushing to build a room and grow your family as quickly as possible. Provides some cards to get away from that strategy, which not one of my personal favorite things to do, but I know a lot of people enjoy doing. So it's definitely different in that regard.
I think that the France deck is really, as you guys have both just said, it's the alternative deck. It's the deck for when we want to change up the game and make it different from what we've seen. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing. We want to make it different, so an alternative deck is a great thing to have. And I think in that respect, it's very good. I'd love to see how it interacts with the 5-player game. I haven't had a chance to play any 5-player games with the France deck yet. And I know that, for instance, WM is not the best of 5-player game decks. It loses a lot of its value as 4-player card creators and thought went into it, and the 5-player game is generally ignored. So I'd love to see how France goes and works with the 5-player game.
I don't have the most experience with 5-player games. I'm kind of one of those 4-player purists, I guess, on the site. But yeah, I do agree with you that a lot of the card creators are thinking about mostly 4-player games when they do design cards. It's something that I don't think about much because I'm just used to it. But I certainly agree with that point.
So, while we've got John, Joe, currently you're the number one seed remaining in the tournament. Is there anyone in particular that you don't want to get matched up against, or that you're scared of facing, or do you think, or are there any some group of players who you don't like their styles and it doesn't fit well with yours, or anything along those lines that are you thinking ahead, like worried about, like, oh, how am I gonna beat this guy or anything like that?
Yeah, can you hear me just fine? There's a little
Yep.
audio cutting up there.
Yeah, sorry, you sound fine.
Okay. Hunter, without a doubt. In my mind, he's the best player. And I think the thing that makes him the best player is how he can adapt to various situations. I've seen games of his where, like actually his second game in round one, everything was going horribly for him, but he somehow adapted, and I think he might have even gotten fourth place in that game. I think he did. But given everything that went wrong for him early on, I was incredibly impressed with the score that he was able to put up. At this point in the game, though, you're down to 16 players. There really aren't going to be any weak players left. So I think a lot of it...
we all got knocked out in the first round.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, a lot of it just comes down to hopefully you get a few good occupations, a few good minors in draft. That's going to go a long way. There are a couple players who are better than others, but yeah, a lot of it's going to be luck at this point, I think.
I actually think that the point that you put up there, William, about players that we would prefer not to play against, or styles of play that we prefer not to play against, is that random element that you sometimes get from players who aren't necessarily the top players can sometimes mess around with your gameplay. You think one thing's going to happen, and then you're completely blindsided by a different move. I think that now that they're in the top 16, and most of those players have probably not advanced, there's really not going to be any unconventional play going on.
Yeah, I would agree with that too.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I also agree with Joe, your point on Hunter. He's just a very, very good player, well-rounded, and Pin, who I have coming up in my second round game, is the sort of defending champion from the previous tournament. So I'm a little worried about those games coming up this weekend.
Yeah, Pin is certainly a good player too. I would say Pin, and then in this game, I would say Sebosch. They're both vastly improved players who are definitely threats to advance out of their groups.
Both played great games in round one, each of their games, but I was the third player in that group.
Well, and we are starting, and Hunter opens up with Dancer.
Oh, I love it. I love it. With round one being major minor, I think opening with Dancer is not quite as good because you could just grab the 2 clay, but we don't know if there's a card like Bonfire or Turkey Breeder in draft. But I love seeing Dancer.
It also would not at all surprise me if Hunter has more Traveling Players cards coming our way very shortly.
I also I just like Dancer better than taking 2 clay with major coming up. If Sheep doesn't come out till round 4, that's a huge gamble.
Yeah, for sure.
We've also got a Clay Worker by Sebosch, so we'll see where that goes. That's a card that I think new players, when they see it, think, oh, this is pretty strong, and I think my opinion of it has gone down significantly over the years.
What I really like about Clay Worker is that you just get a free cooking curve while you're taking your wood for building your rooms, and it just happens. You don't even notice it, and it happens. All of a sudden, you've got the resources for that hearth. You don't need to put the effort into it.
Yeah, I do agree with you, Matt, though, about Clay Worker. On paper, it looks like a very solid oct, but if I don't end up buying the pottery when I have Clay Worker, I feel like he probably wasn't worth it.
Well, and JML, who went last, got lucky enough to go first, get star player, and with the second action round 1, and plays our first France deck card, which is the Ground Pickaxe Plow. One of the new plows in the France deck allows you to place some wood on the board in exchange for plowing extra fields. I think it's a pretty good card.
I think it's interesting. He opened up there with Reedstone Food and 2 Reed.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if he has another miner he's going to play early to get another RSF. There's a lot of stuff you could potentially have, though, like Thatcher or other ways to discount his second room. But when you're giving the player after you 2 Reed, like Hunter, there's a good chance he's going to be able to build the first room. So, yeah.
If he has that miner, I'm expecting to see it right now. 2 woods on enough, and nothing else is good. There's a stone buyer. Maybe he's just going for stone.
Yeah. And especially in Hunter's shoes, like, he can play a really simple early game now where he can just, take wood, take food, take wood, take food, and then get the first room. So, see if that happens or not.
Probably the best beginning for him, seeing as he's got those, he's in first place there with 49 points.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice safe start for him.
It's a good seating placement for Sebosch that he's in front of Bigfoot and Hunter, not behind them. As we were discussing this in round 1, that if the player who's on the bubble there at 3rd place is sitting behind the players who are in first place, they can just starting player the whole game and sort of tank their game, but really bring down that person because he'll be last for a lot of the game.
Yeah, was it Sebosch or was it Bigfoot who tied Hunter at 49 the first game?
It was Bigfoot.
It was Bigfoot, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying then, how a start player would be a bit more attractive for him.
I really like Sebosch's Chemist Clay Worker combo. That's a wonderful combo. It's just 2 food every woodcut.
Yeah, that's a nice combo for Sebosch there. You should be able to feed him for the first 3 stages at least, I would think. Or at least 2, certainly.
JML just got he got to take starting player again. That was really nice for him.
Yeah, nobody's RSF again.
That was in fact really fortunate. It gave him a lot of food because now he doesn't need to buy the stone with the stone buyer. He got that extra reed, so now he's at least par with Hunter as far as reed goes. That was a really, really fortunate break for JML.
Yeah, and I imagine he'll grab the fish right here too, so that he can continue to buy stones as we go forward.
Mm-hmm.
Given there's no 3 wood action, which would be the other thing he'd be looking for.
Yeah, the only way I don't see that happening is if he had a 4 wood occupation, but even then he'd be pretty hungry, so yeah, I would think he would take fish also.
Bigfoot's in a fairly good spot here as well. He needs another Reedstone food grab, but getting that first fireplace and also having sufficient wood, if Hunter builds the first room, he shouldn't have any problem growing second, which, when you have the first fireplace, is pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see Bigfoot take 1 reed here just to get that first room.
It's definitely in play. He might also play a free Ock if it gets back to him.
Yeah, I would imagine he would take one of the 2. But if there ever were a spot to take 1 reed, I usually don't like it. I think this might be it.
JML just played the 5 rings. I'm really surprised that he didn't play that last round. We were discussing that just now, how he really needed to get another starting player, and there were no great spots for him. He played the stone buyer, but he had the 5 rings. He could have played it. I'm curious as to why he didn't do that. He got lucky, so this obviously worked out better for him. But interesting.
Yeah, and 3 rounds in a row, or 2. It'll be 3 rounds in a row going 4th for Sebosch here too. So that's not great for him.
Yeah. Even though he's got that clay worker chemist combo, I really think he's in quite a strong position. Just I could see how he's annoyed that he's not going to get Reed now.
I think one of the interesting things early on, too, is that it's been hard to take wood, and that could even tighten the wood supply even more with Hunter playing wood distributor there. We don't know if there were a lot of wood adding cards in draft, but if there weren't, just to see how that changes the game.
If I'm Sebosch, I'm super happy with that wood distributor with the clay worker and chemist. And it was also a really good move for Hunter getting the wood for his room, and a bad move for Bigfoot because now Bigfoot can't take the one read and get that first room.
Yeah, I think if 2 wood were to reach Hunter on his second action, he was planning on taking it anyway. So he might just be playing that for 2 wood.
I don't know if he's going to distribute. I think he was just taking 2 wood there.
Yeah, he might do it rarely if the spot is right, but...
Yeah, well, then again for Bigfoot, you know, having less of a reason to take a otherwise inefficient action isn't the worst thing in the world. Playing an Ocker going 4 clay hair is not going to be terrible for him.
Yeah.
And people in the comments are saying the exact same thing that you guys just said, that Hunter's really just doing that so he can secure the first room build, not so much as actual interest in distributing.
Yeah.
Hunter really does not want to give advantages to Sebosch, who would come and eliminate either him or Bigfoot if Sebosch has a really great game here. So keeping things away from Sebosch is probably the best thing for Hunter to do now. I wonder what Bigfoot... Oh, there we go. He took 4 clay. I was wondering what he would do here with this move. So there's no good read move. He can't play an occupation because he has no food. 4 clay is always solid.
I'm usually not a big fan of the stone buyer, or any buyers for that matter, early on. It makes me think that he probably has a higher stone cost card than just the resource majors in the well. I don't know if there are a lot of them in the France deck, but...
Also, I could see JML shooting for that big game in the draft since he's 6 points behind. If he saw Manchin in his first pack, he has to draft it. Right now he's got the 5 rings, and and the stone buyer. He's going to be buying a lot of stone. And there's that food that lasted. And now he got it at 4.
Yeah, I think of all the players in this game, the one who's most likely to play differently than normal would probably be JML. You know, if you're Hunter Bigfoot or Sebosch, you know, they're all kind of right around there with the same score. JML kind of needs to make something happen a little bit. So
I think that right now we saw the first really position in the tournament changing move. Bigfoot took 2 read over taking read and 3 food, which I think that read and 3 food is the superior move to 2 read, and it would give him his room anyway. He would still get the room above Sebosch. But now he's pushing Sebosch even farther back by denying him that 2 read.
yeah, Sebosch had to be eyeing 2 read there for sure.
Oh, he's not even taking Reed's own food, so it will be interesting to see what happens. Maybe he has a clay worker, a clay roof. That would be wonderful for Sebosch.
And I don't know if Ish is watching this or not, but this might illustrate his point how 2 read is a very strong action in round 2. Not only with JML not taking it, but then giving it to Hunter. If everything goes normal, he will probably go first. So.
Yeah. I'm going to assume Sebosch does not actually have the clay roof because he would have just started with it there, as opposed to playing the Gem Hunter. But the Gem Hunter is really nice for him because it will give him that stone, and as you said, if you don't buy the pottery when you have the clay worker, you're missing a little easy points. So Sebosch did that to ensure he gets the pottery before JML goes and swipes it with his 5 rings.
Sorry for being silent there, you guys. I was having a little bit of sound difficulties, but I think we're good now.
Okay.
What do you think of their starts so far, Matt?
I obviously like Hunter's position. You can never complain with people going first. I think Sebosch has a really strong combo here, but could really run into trouble with being able to grow if he gets passed over. And then Hunter or Bigfoot is able to jump back in for a second room or something is always a danger. I really like the 5 rings card. I've seen it used very effectively. If JML can efficiently keep up the stone buyer and grab up all the improvements, obviously that's going to put him in a good position as well. So I think his position is probably the most variant, but given that he needs the big score, it makes a lot of sense. I think Hunter getting the first room and just sort of playing it safe and saying I'm not going to get any worse than second or at worst a close third, and I'll advance. Then that's not the I think that makes a lot of sense.
For sure.
I love Sebosch's combo right now. I didn't even realize the implications it has with the chemist. He's just collecting stone and food on almost every resource spot he takes. He's in an amazing position.
Yeah, and it really hurts JML's stone buyer because one of the big advantages of the buyer, obviously, is having everyone else be very scarce in the resource.
So a bit of an interesting play from Bigfoot. Why do you think he built a room there when nobody else was able to?
I think he just wanted to put pressure on Hunter to take the family growth first. I don't think he assumed that he would get a lesser action with the second one than the one he was planning on getting in the first place.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he plays an Ock here or something else that he thinks wasn't going to get taken.
Yep, there he took the sheep. It's not a good idea to let those get swiped in a game like this. I could see Sebosch or JML going and swiping his sheep if you were banking on them for too long.
So you mentioned the 5 rings card earlier, Matt. In the times that you've seen it played, have you ever seen anyone use it for wood, or has it always been stone so far?
Pretty much always for stone, especially in obviously 4-player game, which is most of what we play on the site. I imagine that if someone were to play it in a 2- or 3-player game, then it might get used for wood more. But given that stone discounts on major resources major improvements are very valuable, I think that is the way you're going to want to play the card most of the time.
Yeah, I agree.
This is a very low game. Well, maybe not. I guess it's just Bigfoot. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't played any occupations. He may have a wealthiest European.
Possible. Sebosch is out of sorts here. He's not taking the resources that he deserves necessarily there. He just took clay from the reed spot, did not take a bonus clay. It seems to be that he's not focused. I wonder if we're going to see that really affect the continuation of his game.
So what do you guys think of Hunter's start so far? Given that he has grown first and he has a safe Ock like Dancer, and he's not going to have food problems, obviously.
It's looking really nice for Hunter. It's really nice. I thought he maybe should have taken traveling players there instead of 4 clay. But it's looking really nice for him.
Yeah, it's not looking like he's set up to have a huge score, but that's not what he needs, and he'll probably, my guess is he's just going to start gathering resources toward building that second room and maybe build a cooking hearth.
I think it's too early to even consider the implications for how big his game is, since he got his first family number. His game hasn't even started constructing itself yet. We'll see. He could have a huge game. Only round 6.
That's true.
As expected, Hunter's not distributing the wood at all. He only played that as a 2-wood play. And Sebosch has the ladder, so at least he has some kind of light breather on the reed. But he's going to get gift here and the family growth to by JML. And he's not even going to be able to get 2 rooms since he doesn't have 10 wood left. Oh, maybe next round he'll take reed. He'll take wood. This round he'll take reed. Next round he'll get 2 rooms. But not looking so great for Sebosch as far as family growth goes. As far as everything else goes, Sebosch is definitely in the best position.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone's going to jump in and get a second grow before he gets his first, so he should be okay.
Especially because no one really has those strange I don't know. No one's plowed fields. No one's.
Yeah, no one has a grain or vegetable
or something. So no one's got a surprise growth coming. It seems.
No, and we're also not seeing any of the sort of conventional strategies that we sometimes.
Wonderful play. Now he just gets his 2 rooms straight up. That was really good.
Yeah, that was very well played.
Now all he needs to have now is an animal pen and Sebosch control.
Yeah, this is crazy so far. I was just reviewing all the occupations that have been played, but I mean, what's the strongest occupation in the game so far?
I don't think you can necessarily judge it as individual occupations as far as strength goes. The hunter dancer is definitely the strongest out there, but Sebosch's combo of the clay worker, chemist, and gem hunter is amazing. So. I don't know. I don't like judging occupations as individual cards, usually. You never are going to be playing your occupations as individual cards. You're always going to be trying to string them together with a combination. Hunter has a grocer now. There's your strongest occupation.
Yeah, I see what you mean there. And I do like Sebosch's combo quite a bit too. But in my mind, it's always what you can do with it potentially. You know, I mean, yeah, you can buy the well, you can build lots of rooms and all that kind of stuff, but just be interesting to see what he does with it.
And Hunter does go ahead and distribute here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see which one of those he's targeting.
It'll be interesting to see if Sebosch goes ahead and takes 4 wood and 2 food here, or if he goes and buys the pottery. I take the pottery.
You could also just build.
I guess, but no one else can build. I don't think that. That's not true. I take that back. Hunter could build. Hunter could swipe all his build. Yeah, Sebosch should build. It'll be interesting to see if Sebosch misses that, since he was slightly out of focus earlier. But Sebosch is a very sharp player as far as noticing what people can do. So I think that Sebosch will not miss that, and he should get built his room.
So if Hunter is given the opportunity, do you think that he will build a room here?
I would do it. I would absolutely do it. Just to hurt Sebosch, who's in 3rd place. You take the room. If your next 2 actions are taking Greedstone, food, and traveling players just to feed. If he takes fishing, I don't think fishing is going to be around for him another time around. I would definitely just build the room, get the next family growth, get ahead in the line. 4 peeps at the end of round 8 is a great position to be in.
I agree, and he also would have a grain and a stone if he were to buy all of those things, so he could buy an oven. Feeding wouldn't be an issue. It would be the right play, but Sebosch goes ahead now. Only builds 1 room. That's a very interesting decision.
That was really surprising.
Yeah, with ladder, that seems weird to me.
Maybe it's possible he has a clay hut extension or something like that, and let's see if he. I think there's a pretty high chance he renovates with the second action.
And buys the pottery. That's a great idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I really like JML's ruins over there. He's maxing it out. That's a really great play. Gets the free 3 points for him because he's going to get all the stone coming back.
Yeah, the stone bar does make more sense to me. Stone bar with 5 rings doesn't quite seem like it's worth it to me, but with ruins I can see why I did it. So
I was expecting Hunter to take 3 food and wood there on the fishing, but he took the reed, which I guess is also a good move since it gives him it denies everyone else the reed more than it gives him 2 reed there because he has the grosser reed.
So why were you guys saying you think Sebosch might have only built 1 room and not 2?
Matt just mentioned that he probably has something like a clay hut extension on the family growth that's coming up, or we're definitely expecting him to renovate and buy the pottery with this second action.
Yeah,
And
that's
maybe to focus on clay rooms and save his wood and preserve that, because he has all this clay coming in with the clay worker and the gem hunter.
yeah. I was wondering that too. If he was just worried about a wood shortage occurring and that he just wouldn't have enough, and that's maybe why he was doing it. But
Yeah, well, now he goes and takes more wood, so he may just be wanting defense early for some reason, or, I mean, who knows? We'll see. I still think that he probably has his eyes on his second room being built from clay, whether it's an extension or just a regular room.
And he already has all the reed he needs for that, so... Forward was a really strong move there with the distributor in the game, with again, the clay worker, chemist combo. It was a really strong move for Sebosch. I guess he's not feeling pressure to buy the pottery. That's the only reason why I would even consider passing the forward. So, a really strong move for Sebosch there.
Is the problem, but yeah.
Under playing coffee break. I have not seen a France deck game without the coffee break in it.
I think it's one of the strongest minds. Yeah, and I think he's playing it right around the ideal time. I think around 5, 6, maybe 7 is pretty much the time to play it.
Oh, Bigfoot has a hedge keeper. That's going to really help him out here.
Yeah, that's a huge occupation.
Sheep are going to breed his... that's just really, really nice for him. With the alms that he played on his family growth for 5 food, and now the hedge keeper's free. He saves him in this wood short game. Really great for Bigfoot.
Yeah, a huge play.
And he's going to get the grab of 3 sheep next round too, because still no one else has a cooking implement. So Bigfoot's looking better.
I think Bigfoot is definitely looking like in the strongest position right now. Stronger than Hunter. Well, maybe not. Hunter's got another room coming.
I still like Hunter's position. The grocer is just so strong.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, if he has any sort of plow, he doesn't need to take any crops for it. So, but yeah, I would say the two of them are certainly looking the best right now.
Yeah.
So Hunter does go ahead and build a room, which isn't surprising.
No, not really. I'd like to see Bigfoot take stone here. I think that 2 stone, 2 food is a really good action for him. Assuming that JML, of course, buys the stone. And then he could go ahead and buy the well or the pottery. Right now I'm looking at how each player's point ceiling is what sort of picture we can get for their point ceiling right now. And Hunter doesn't really have such a great high point ceiling. He's going to have a great farm. He's going to really have a solid farm since he has all these actions. And if he wants, he could sacrifice that and get more minors and majors for a point. But JML definitely has a really high point ceiling with his 5 rings and his stone buyer. So I'd like to see the players compete with that right now. And there Bigfoot went ahead and he did take those stone.
Well, I think regardless, JML's going to buy the well on his first action here. He seems committed to buying stone improvements, and he can't renovate and get it anyway, so I would be pretty shocked if he doesn't do the well first move.
Yeah.
Sebosch also, when he grew right there, played the hay rake, which I think is one of the better miners in the France deck, and no one has any plows, any plowed field, any plows, anything to do with plowing field so far, so besides that, and so I think that's going to be a strong card. I think as the game goes forward, the plows could get very competitive very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a card when I first looked at it, it seemed kind of weak, but once I saw it in action for the first time, it was a pretty good card, and especially in a game with early family growth, it's even better. So I think that will pay off for him.
I've never thought about it as a weak card. I love plowing. I value plows really high. I think that the easiest points to get in the game are crops and plowing fields because it just they just feed off each other. It's definitely easier to get more points there than it is to get the points in animals. So I always prioritize plowing fields to building fences, and as a result, I value plows a lot higher. So I love the hay rake.
It's interesting to hear you say that because I very much devalue plows as the minor plows. I mean, obviously plowing fields is valuable, but I tend to get my plows by plowing them just one by one. And I think, Joe, you're similar.
Yeah, I am. I think they're overdrafted often, but if you look at their statistics, they do tend to be some of the better cards usually. But yeah, hay rake is kind of a weird card. It kind of does support just the one-by-one plow strategy, but one thing that's kind of nice about it is a lot of times if I have swing plow and it's late in the game, it's just so annoying to get those 2 plow fields in, and you got to SP for them all the time. With hay rake, it makes it so you get it in no matter what. So
I guess what I was actually discussing earlier, I wasn't mentioning plow miners, I was mentioning the plow field spot and how much I love it, but with the plow miners, I also love those cards. I just feel like you need to play your occupations earlier and get them, and I don't necessarily have. I find myself playing a lot of early occupations, especially when I'm playing online, because I'm used to playing 5-player games where the occupations are scarce, and then you come into these 4-player games and you want to occupy. It's in your nature, and they're available, so you just play the occupations. And I usually don't have an issue getting my plows out early.
yeah, regarding plows,
Splash built that cooking cart there, and not the pottery. That was slightly surprising. And Bigfoot is still making the most out of his hedgekeeper. Bigfoot is playing the hedgekeeper the way that it's wonderful to play it like this in a wood scarce game. It's basically every time you take fences, you get an extra 3 wood. It puts a 3 wood spot on the board for you, just for you. It's not the strongest of things. It usually only works well with a combination, but when the wood is as scarce as it is here, he can just fence 1 and get another 2, and then fence 1, get another 3, fence 1, get another 3, and he'll be getting 8 wood out of the hedgekeeper. That's a great play.
yeah, even if he didn't use it another time in the game, it's already been good for him. So
And he will use it again. It's only round 9.
yeah.
I definitely expect him to be fencing at least to be fencing twice more. It's interesting he has that huge pile of clay, which seems to point towards him maybe buying a clay room. The pottery is lurking. I'd like to see him grab that.
Yeah, I'm surprised Sebosch hasn't grabbed the pottery already with his clay worker.
He's looking at his immediate feeding right now, and he's feeling hungry. And
yeah, that makes sense.
There's an 8 food pile and a 6 food pile on the boars and in the sheeps, and Bigfoot's probably going to grab the boar, giving Sebosch the opportunity, because Bigfoot can now breed both sheep and boar. It's really strong for him, giving Sebosch 8 food, so that's probably why he did that.
I wonder if JML playing the park cemetery there is a bit of him giving up on his stone buyer, or at least in the attempt to keep others away from it, since they seem to have found ways to get it anyways. So he's saying, go ahead and take it, I'll take my field.
Yeah, I guess I haven't seen that card before. I'm not sure what to think about it.
I wonder how the stone buyer interacts with the park cemetery. If somebody takes plow field, can the stone buyer then buy the stone from the person taking the stone from the park cemetery?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Or now Guillermo just plowed him. I don't know how many fields he's plowed there. He plowed a field there, and he plowed 3 fields with the ground pickaxe plow. And now, does that count as stone being taken? If someone else takes stone, can JML now buy that stone? I don't know what's going on with this card.
Go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, I would say, yeah, I think it would count. And I think that the stone buyer could buy it as well. So maybe my earlier comment, now that you say that, actually. Because the stone buyer says whenever you take stone... well, Park Cemetery says receive, so maybe not. This is one I haven't seen discussed before.
I would think you can buy from it just because it's placed on the space. Like,
yeah.
it doesn't necessarily have to be an accumulation space or reedstone food. So
yeah, well now we're getting into that. Because now Bigfoot's asking if he could buy reedstone food, and well, JML said no. Okay, so that solves the problem, but
at least for this round.
Yeah, I don't think he would be able to buy. So, I mean, since he's already gotten the 1 stone from the plow space, but
yeah, I think Bigfoot's definitely targeting building a clay room here by taking that reedstone food grab, which Sebosch is probably thankful to hear because it means he can probably grab the pottery, and he got this big pile of sheep.
Yeah, well, the big pile of sheep was a given. I wonder if Bigfoot... I would have taken the boars just not to let them run. It's worth so many points for Bigfoot right now if they breed, and that's just more food every harvest and points in the bank.
Do you guys think that Sebosch might be doing some kind of stone renovation strategy? I mean, it doesn't seem too strong at this point, but it just seems a little fishy to me.
I don't see him doing that with the ladder. I think that it would be... I'm a clay worker. I just think it would be a waste for Sebosch to pass up on building a clay room at this stage.
I think so too, but given that he didn't buy pottery, I don't know. I just have a feeling some sort of stone card is coming. I could be wrong, but
also he's already got 4 occupations out there. So let's assume that one of the clay worker, chemist, and gem hunter, he saw it relatively early in the draft, given the strength of the occupations that we've seen so far. And then he probably was prioritizing drafting the combination cards as opposed to drafting other cards. I would not expect him to have a stone card.
And there's the pottery.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if Sebosch actually has mistaken clay with the clay worker on those chemist spots so far this game. Also, Sebosch, if he takes occupation right now, he gets a wood, he gets a clay, he gets to place the clay on another spot for 2 food. I think with the chemist, I'm not sure how much that is. No, building resource accumulation on the chemist, but he still it's a wood and the clay for Sebosch by taking the occupation spots there right now. So if he has an occupation, that's a great move for him. Hunter has the threshing machine plow. That is such a silly card.
It's a very interesting card, and if you have a card that allows you to remove a field, it all of a sudden becomes significantly more powerful.
Oh yes, that is definitely true. The only card that I know of in the current format of EIKW in France is the Pig Wallow. So that would be the only time I would consider playing it. I'm very much against the cards that really play around with the format of your farm and try to make it into a different format. I really feel like cards like the threshing machine plow, they're pushing you hard into subpar play, where you'd be building a farm that you're stretching around. You're building 13 fences for 4 places for 4 pastures instead of building it for 6 places and 3 pastures. It's just making you build less points with your later actions. I really don't. I dislike cards like that. I dislike cards like boundary stones. Obviously, together they go really well. Oh, Sebosch has the farm steward. I was wondering if we were going to see
I was wondering about that too, yeah, because it seemed weird to me that he wasn't really trying to get that next build in, but...
Adam is saying over here in the comments that no second room makes sense now enough. I disagree with that. I love the farm steward as to be the 4th family member growth. I love it even more to be the 5th family member. And Sebosch could have totally done that. He could have absolutely had his 4th family member coming in round 9 with his 2nd room, and his 5th family member coming in round 11. And with the cooking hearth, with the pottery, with his wonderful clay worker, chemist, gem hunter, I think that would have been a more optimal play for him.
Yeah, it would have been at the expense of probably that cooking hearth. Hard to say in the long run. You can't really feed on just the pottery and the chemist forever.
I don't think it would have come at the expense of it though, because he would have he had to build. He wouldn't be expending another action for it. All it would really take away from him is his useless reed, because he has the ladder and 5 wood. And for 5 wood to get another room, which he'll easily be able to convert into clay later on in the game, That's another 2 points. The extra family member is an easy 3 points. He doesn't need to fight over the family growth without room now. If he had done that, I think it would have been a much better move.
Except that building a room costs you 5 wood in what is already, as we've commented, a very wood-tight game. If he's down to only 6 wood and, Hunter's taking 3 wood with his first action,
Hunter is short on wood. I guess JML kind of is too. I think
I love how
Sebosch, the ladder and the pastor weren't really planned. I think they were probably.
And also going back earlier to the threshing machine plow, there's a card in the France deck that allows you to remove a field for 4 wood, passing miner. I don't remember what it's called. So if Hunter has that, that would make a lot of sense.
I love the boatswain. It is my favorite occupation in the JML deck. JML just played it now in the France deck. It's in my mind a really powerful card, and we're going to see it happen now when JML goes ahead and takes fishing. He's going to get 4 grand for that, and it's wonderful. Sebosch also built his fences, which, it's looking like a classic, straightforward game for Sebosch. He's got the pottery, he's got the extra family member coming, so his game's looking strong. Sebosch is definitely not in a bad place here. Hunter, obviously, with the 4 family members, is looking good also. And Bigfoot with his market. I think the only person who's really looking sort of weak here is JML, but that's only because he has 3 family members. And he's got the boatswain. Now he's got he still has that 5-ring stonebuyer combination. Now there aren't as many improvements on the board, but he's gonna get them the stone oven for sure.
Donkey is really good right here for Sebosch.
Oh yeah, I think that's
the board by Bigfoot I think was huge too. I was thinking to myself, if Bigfoot doesn't prioritize plowing and he doesn't have any sort of plow, then Sebosch might be able to beat him. But even mold board is a good play for Bigfoot here.
Mm-hmm. I love the mold board plow. It has the same effect as the turn rest plow and the crooked plow, except the turn rest plow also lets you do it on plow style, and it costs 1 wood less. Has less occupation prerequisites. It's one of my favorite plows, mainly due to the fact that it was once or twice the printing error on the card itself. It makes me wonder if it really was supposed to be a very weak plow and they beefed it up, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't mean to be all doom and gloom here, but I just have a hard time not seeing Hunter and Bigfoot advance at this point. I mean, Market Woman for Bigfoot, assuming he does another room, next round. I just have a hard time seeing them not score well.
Yeah, and the Grocer for Hunter.
Yeah.
I don't see Hunter getting plows though. Oh no, he has the threshing machine plow. So they'll have a wonky farm, but yeah, it's gonna be full of points.
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised if Hunter doesn't plow with his first action in round 11.
Yeah, I kind of have to with mold board sitting after him.
I think he might take, if the 2 cows are there, I think he might take 2 cows. I don't know.
I was thinking he would plow, actually. I think so, but I don't know. Maybe
without the fences to hold onto the cows, to both of them, to breed them, it's not as powerful of an action. Especially if there's both 2 boars and 2 sheep, which is looking like they're going to be, one of those will get back to him. I think the plow is much more important in this situation.
Sebosch is just cleaning up now with the hay rake and the donkey. The only thing I could think about Sebosch's game, which is not optimal right now, is that he might max out his board a little too quickly. And even that shouldn't really be bothering him. If those 2 cows right now, and those 2 cows can be there for Hunter, I think if Hunter wants to take plow with his first action, he has to grab 1 cow now just to keep those away from Sebosch.
I think. Well, so what do you guys think Bigfoot is wanting to do his first move then? I mean, take the cows or?
If there are 2 cows there, then I would take 2 cows. I think Hunter should prevent that right now, and then I think Bigfoot should probably starting player with his first action.
I mean, I think Bigfoot's second and third actions will be spoken for with building a room and family growing.
Yeah.
So it's really only the first one that's up in the air.
Yeah, I do think Hunter will just... Well, maybe not, because JML has quite a few fields, and Sebosch doesn't have to worry about getting fields, so... it's hard to say.
Sebosch is going to get his fields, whether he takes it with the third action in the next 4 rounds, in the next 3 rounds, or 3 out of the next 4 rounds. Sebosch is going to be plowing all the rest of his farmer spaces very easily. So JML's out of field. I don't necessarily think Hunter needs to feel forced to take plow with his first action. But if he does, he should take cow now. Take that out of the game.
Yeah, I think he will plow, though, just because he wants to be able to plow sow in either 12 or 13. And he wants to have enough fields to where he can sow all of his stuff on there. Yeah, he has bean field already, but he might want to just take another grain or something like that before he sows. So I think he'll just plow, but...
Well, now the question is how many... if you think that Hunter will indeed take plow and then later this round take sow, do you think he would buy all 7 resources from his grocer so he can plow sow that extra vegetable, or do you think that he'd only buy the top 3?
I think he'd buy all. Yeah, actually, okay. I think he'll take cow, and then plow, and then sow.
Because that was what I was looking at. Is that if he takes the cow there, then it will help him out in the feeding aspect. So he took traveling players.
Oh, okay.
Which it's the same for food if you look at it here or there. But it frees up traveling players. It means that he'll be able to take that with a lot of
action. He might be banking that Bigfoot will take 2 cows.
Mm-hmm. If this really is a Hunter Bigfoot team up against Sebosch, so they can both advance, which is sort of what they should be doing in the grand scheme of things, then yeah, taking plow for Hunter and leaving the 2 cows for Bigfoot. Not that 2 boars is terrible for Sebosch.
Right. So that was what I was going to say. Is that Sebosch is really fine with the boars here.
Yeah, pretty much worth the same amount of points. Getting 5 boars or 4 cows is the same. But if Sebosch is going to be banking on eating them with the cooking cart, then he's getting the cows. Because Bigfoot did go ahead and take starting player with his first action.
Which makes sense, because it's really the only way he can guarantee that he's going to be able to get those moldboard plows fully utilized.
I don't even know if that's probably, but yeah, I mean, is he gonna plow? I wouldn't have done start player there. I don't think, but
I probably would have done starting player, but I don't know. I wouldn't. Let's say family growth comes out in round 12. I would take family growth. If Paso comes out, I would consider taking the 2 plows from the moldboard. But I don't know. I don't think it was a bad move. Because Sebosch is set and JML is set with them, his 5 fields. I would not feel pressured to get the extra. I would not feel pressured to plow here if I were Bigfoot. I don't think that he needs to fight and necessarily take plow on a field for moldboard with his first action.
It's a nice, strong 4-wood grab for Hunter there.
Yeah. I don't know how much stock you guys hold with the scorecard at various stages in the game, but right now, for all that we've been saying, the Hunter's in a great position. He's really not. He's kind of behind everyone else as far as the scorecard goes. Now, obviously, Sebosch has already fed, so he doesn't have that big leap of points that he can get from fences, but he does have that. Every round, he gets to take another. It will average out to being a 3-point action with his 3rd family member on the plow spot. So Sebosch has that going for him. JML has all of the improvements with the well and the ruins. Now he's got the basket maker's workshop. So JML's got all that stuff, and he's already got all his fields, and he can still fence. That's a lot of points coming his way, and he'll be able to obviously get more crops with all those grain. So
Although Hunter, with all the grosser resources, I mean, that's almost like 6 points right there. So he's going to be he's in a better position than his scorecard is going to indicate. This is actually something we talked about on the previous cast that I did about how much stock to put in the scorecard, and that there then becomes a little bit of a tactic in knowing how to properly read them at certain points in the game. I check them usually starting in round 13 or 14 if it's looking like it's going to be a close game, but I'm not a huge fan of constantly pulling it up. I know some players do.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, I don't even look at the scorecard until round, like even the second or third action in round 14. I think most people are able to just eyeball a farm and just generally know who's doing the best. I mean, I wouldn't put a lot of stock in whatever the scores are right now. But.
Okay. It's interesting Bigfoot played the buried treasure. We'll see if that has implications on his first action next round. If family growth comes out, I guess he's going to go ahead and take plow anyway, just to get those extra stones.
Right. Well, he did just build a room and grow to his fourth family member. So the fifth family member is incrementally less valuable than the fourth one. If he was only at 3 people, I would say that family grow to the fourth with the first action in round 12 would be vital. But I think that now that he's already got 4, I think the plow is more important for him.
I'd agree with you if it were round 13, but if it's round 12, then the family growth is going to give you not only the 3 points the family member gives you, but also 2 more actions. I think that the family member is definitely the strongest action on the board in round 12.
In a vacuum, I would say that's probably true, but given the situation that plows are tight and that Bigfoot has a specific card he needs to use on a specific space, and he wants to start sowing his, if he's going to get maximum points out of grain and vegetables from his market woman, he needs to get a sow, and if he wants to sow, he needs fields. So, in my opinion, that's the strongest move for him. But it obviously always depends on the situation.
Okay.
Yeah, I would plow no matter what round 12 is, I think. I think the only other question would be, would you take plow sow if it's that? And I don't think I would. At the same time, like buried treasure, I don't think it's going to do anything for him. I don't know.
I could see him getting the stone oven.
Well, you'd have to take a clay though, right?
I'd really like to see JMO getting the stone oven, just because he has the stone rings and he has all those grains that he just got from the bonus win. So I'd really love to see JMO doing that, but it would be interesting to see Bigfoot take it if it's hanging around, which is unlikely. Also, Hunter could take it if he wants. It's almost worth as much as his renovation. So.
Yeah, I think Bigfoot prizes have some ways to
and
Hunter as well as like paved road, I guess. I can't really.
When this is said and done.
It's interesting. Sebosch did not plow with his third action that round. He took wood and food and bounced the clay. Now he's going to take wood again and bounce more clay. It was interesting because now Sebosch he's pretty much forced himself to go ahead and take plow with his third action now in each of the next 3 rounds if he wants to block all those spots on his farm, which he probably is looking at. Maybe he's going to build fences again. We'll see.
He could be gunning for Reno fence, or he might also want to try to plow sow if he's able to grab some crops. He's already doing pretty well on the animals. So okay, he did grow.
I was just about to say that Bigfoot with Sebosch sitting after him and the tournament scoring the way it is right now, I think that maybe family growth and denying Sebosch that family growth is a better move than plow sow, just in the aspects of this game.
Hunter's absolutely going to plow his first action, though, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah. It will definitely have hurt Bigfoot. The question remains how much.
I think it might cost him advancing, honestly. Like, I think if he plows there, he's going to advance for sure, but at the same time, I guess Sebosch was looking to grow with his first move, and by Bigfoot taking that, it does hurt him, so...
Here's an interesting question. Do you think if Bigfoot takes plow there, can Bigfoot beat Hunter?
I don't think that's as important. I mean, because 2 people advance, so...
Yeah, but I think that if Bigfoot allows Sebosch to take family growth, then Sebosch is definitely taking first place in this game.
I don't know.
I don't agree with that.
I think that. I see easy points for Sebosch with his plowing with his third action, with his pottery, which he has no clay yet, so he could easily get those clay. He has no crops, and he could focus on that. Those are relatively easy things to get. I see Sebosch's ceiling here is so high that I'm just wondering if Bigfoot could have. I think that Bigfoot, had he given the family growth to Sebosch, would definitely be losing the game to Sebosch. And the question is, can he beat Hunter then in advance over Hunter? Obviously, Hunter plowed to block him.
I guess just my generic prediction would be that they score according to their player order at this point. But it is hard to tell still because we haven't seen all their cards or anything. But I guess the thing with Sebosch is like he's not going to be able to score points off of crops.
Also, this upcoming round, I will definitely give him some. Well, maybe he won't take Paso. He's probably going to take Family Growth and just keep up. He'll get to sow this upcoming round, which will give him. It will give him a bunch of points. Abandoned Below. I've never seen this card before.
Yeah, that's huge. that's a
the
huge.
That's the card I was talking about earlier that allows him to remove the field for 4 wood. So that's really perfect for Hunter because it gives him the full wood to be able to build a full 15 fences and get that weird place field out of the way.
Yeah, that was a really strong move for Hunter. And Bigfoot went and took clay. I'd really love to see him buy the stone. Oh, the stone oven was grabbed by JML, but I'd love to see him. He's gonna grab the clay oven now because he needs some kind of extra feed. He
can run out clay oven pretty easily.
Oh yeah.
I guess assuming JML doesn't take it first.
We'll see. I'd like to see JML actually take the clay oven next round and take fishing right now until 5 grains on his field, and then he'll have a whole lot of crops for around 14 to sell. And there's a wood there on the fishing also. I'd love to see JML take fishing here.
Yeah, I think
that makes sense for him.
Yeah.
Right now the scoring is really tight. As far as everyone's position, I love JML's improvements. I said before he has a really high ceiling. He just doesn't have those extra family members. I don't think that Sebosch is going to pass family growth. I think he's going to take it. Just because plow cell is not really worth so much for him. And
yeah, he should go for sure.
Sebosch. JML.
Hey, Matt. Okay, so we just had something going on from Matt, but it seems to be done now.
Okay.
Oh, I apologize. My connection is a little off tonight, it seems. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're fine.
Okay, great.
I wonder if we're going to look at some bottlenecking on the fences action right now. Theoretically, there could be 4 more people looking to fence with only 3 more fences actions.
Well, someone's probably going to take it with their first action, aren't they?
I would think that, yeah, this round, I would say if Bigfoot does not get plow, then fencing is
Hunter, either plow, sow, or fence, I guess, whatever he gets, right?
Yeah, I expect the next 3 moves to be plow, sow, plow, and fence. I don't know what the order would necessarily be in, but definitely what I expect to see.
So I'd be very surprised if Hunter doesn't start player right here.
Also, is there? I would also over start player.
So I think that risks him not fencing.
That's also true. You're right, but he has the renovation fences resources. Is there a bottleneck on renovation right now? Hunter, Bigfoot, Sebosch can all renovate. So yeah, there's a bottleneck there too. So you're saying the starting player is a hot action now, and not the real question is would Hunter just fence if he could fence now?
Yeah,
Like
I was gonna say. Yeah, JML probably star player makes sense.
right now. So if once JML takes starting player, if I'm Hunter, I'm just taking Paso right now because fences is going to be around there for his action, whether it's Reno fences or regular fences. Hunter has got the fences in the bag right now.
He's probably gonna miss out on renovation though, then, isn't he? Or
Well, let's assume that
well,
he could renovate now then. It's interesting because there are all these bottlenecks. This has been a really, really tight, close game with all these players with all these various points, and it's just looking like a really interesting ending. The person who really needs to renovate right now is Sebosch, just because he's going to be far back in that queue, and Bigfoot also. But Bigfoot needs to plow. Wonderful ending here.
Yeah, Bigfoot has no choice but to plow right here, I believe. And JML, it's interesting. Red Offense is going to be the most valuable action by far because those are the two things that are bottlenecks.
Bigfoot has renovated over here. It's a 6-point action and 5 food. I see why he did that.
well, I think with the well being out there again, that changes things a lot because all of them can buy it. So, well, not anymore, but they could.
So that is true because now all of a sudden it makes some renovating not as powerful. And yeah, Sebosch went ahead and blocked the fences. So it's looking like JML and Hunter getting fences. I don't think Bigfoot's going to get it again, and Bigfoot is really looking like he's not going to advance to the next round now.
Yeah, so it does look like Hunter's renovation is going to he'll probably build the well instead, but if he can.
Yeah. Great for Sebosch. I see right now Sebosch has a really strong chance to advance, and most likely Hunter is going to win this game. Maybe Sebosch will win the game, and it looks like they're not going to be able to advance now. I guess that's a shame.
Something really evil could happen for Hunter though here because if he does decide to build the well, they can make it so that Hunter doesn't fence if they really wanted to.
That's why I would not build the well this round if I were Hunter.
Yeah, he won't build it this round. He'll hold on to it so that he has Reno fence as an option. I mean, JML still can't Reno yet,
no, but
technically.
The ruined stone coming in at the harvest. So.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that was.
Hunter got another field there, and Hunter's maxing out on his farm right now. Really,
right.
What I expected to see from Hunter is his farm is wonderful. His improvements are not very pointful, but that's okay. It will be a nice 45 for him.
And Sebosch just said really appreciated Hunter in the chat, which makes a lot of sense because Hunter taking plow there really hurts Bigfoot. If Bigfoot had been able to get that mold board this round, he might have still had a chance of advancing. But I think that move right there might have sealed his fate.
I think even with it, he just doesn't have the points in his improvements, and even 2 more fields, it's not enough points. I think Bigfoot is going to be losing by more than 7 points to Sebosch. So whether he would have lost by more than 3 with the extra 4 points on a plow, I don't think it's necessarily such a big difference.
And as far as highlighting the critical moments go, I do think it was back in round 12 when he chose to family growth over plow.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Okay. I agree with that. But I think that I understand why he did it with blocking Sebosch's family growth there and denying that from him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that singular move cost him the game, but I think that it might have been a suboptimal decision in that chance, but I think the seeds of his demise were probably sowed a little bit earlier when Sebosch just set up a really nice combo and had it play out very well for him.
Yeah, interesting that he took Reed now. I really have no idea why he's doing that. I thought maybe he'd take 3 stone and buy the well, since Hunter needs to hold out with his renovation resources, and JML's obviously probably not going to buy the well, unless if JML buys the well here and then gets fences. Since buying the well is more than renovation for JML.
Bigfoot may have half-timbered house or something like that.
Yeah, but he'd need more stone for that. I would still take 3 stone first. I would take, if he has a half-timbered house, then reed stone, well, I guess the stone will get bought with the buyer. But reed stone food would be a better action. I just see better actions than 2 reed right now. Maybe he did it for the wood. 2 reed and the wood.
Yeah, although I don't know what he needs the wood for. He only needs 1 more to build his 4 fences. So,
Yeah.
you're right, I'm
Sebosch,
now that you say that.
I kind of wonder too if he's positioning himself to take major, knowing that Hunter is going to want the well in his second action. I mean that's kind of way ahead, but I would guess that Hunter is probably thinking that right now. Of course, that all changes if someone has, like, someone could just have Hedge Master, and then all this doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What we're saying, but
I don't think that Bigfoot's going to be the one with the Hedge Master, because we would have seen that with the Hedge Keeper being played. I don't see that. It's just a scenario that I don't see happening right now. It might happen. It might be Hunter. It might be. I don't think it's JML. I'm interested that Sebosch took boars right now and not taking sheep. I guess he's feeling hungry, I guess, because he wants to eat those. But sheep is just more points. I would take the sheep, and if you have to kill them, you have to kill or kill one of them. I would kill one of them and still take the 2 points over taking the 6 food there.
I think he had a reasonable expectation that the sheep would get back to him.
If I'm Bigfoot, I'm denying them, as Bigfoot doesn't really have such great action. He's got many action, and they're not so great. So if I'm Bigfoot, the first thing I'm taking the attack moves first, and then the progressing moves second.
yeah, I totally agree with that because he is playing more against Sebosch than anyone right now, I think. So.
That's true. It's one of the things I really don't like about the tournament format, I have to say. The whole sort of when you're playing against a certain player and just not trying to win the game creates for some different situations that I'm not personally a fan of. But
it absolutely
it is what it is.
Yeah. It's hard to make a tournament format that really balances the motivation to do well personally and the motivation to do well. It's hard to do. I really like it, even though, given the format, I was eliminated first round. It's a great format. I don't know how it could be better. Maybe more games, but that's a different thing.
Oh, geez, so Sebosch didn't even take the 2 sheep either. What did he take? Oh, he sowed?
He sowed.
Why did he take sow?
I guess crops are good, but I would have taken the sheep. Sheep is 3 points. Sowing is, well, I guess sowing in the grand scheme of things is also probably going to be worth about 3 points, or 2 points and 2 food, or something like that. I would have taken the sheep.
Yeah, they just got wasted because Hunter just ate them.
Yep. Well, that's not a waste. Hunter's got Hunter's got food, but
I mean relatively.
Relatively. Yeah, Hunter's got also, he's got extra vegetables with the cooking corner. Hunter's looking really solid right now. Sebosch, obviously. I think that was a mistake for him not to take the sheep there. But Sebosch is also looking strong. Oh, Bigfoot got the cattle breeder there. That's nice for him.
Yeah, that's a good act there.
Yeah, I think that's a very undervalued occupation in general, actually.
I'd like to see him take 3 stone right now. If anything, he could build a stone room next round with his action petering out.
He does have 2 wood to go with the stable if that's what he ends up doing, but I don't think anyone's threatening to build a stable, so.
No, I would imagine both JML and Hunter will spend all of their wood.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's waiting until next turn to see if he can get enough stone with 1 action.
I don't think it's going to happen because the buyer's in the game. But he did take stone wood there, so that would be another stable if he does go ahead with that. Okay, Reno fences was the first grab taken, so.
Yeah, I think that was as we expected. and Hunter will fence now.
What would be really nice about Bigfoot taking the stone last round, had he taken it, that he could buy the well with his first action. I see. I see this as actually a really nice combination for Bigfoot. Is that now he could take plow sow now and get a stone, and then he could take plow with the moldboard plow and get 2 fields and get another stone, and then he could take the stone. He could buy the room until, regardless of whether the 4 stone is taken and bought or whether. And then he'll take the 2 stone, he'll get that. So either way, it's looking good for him if he focuses now on plow stone and then plow again. But no, he just took straight plow field, and that in my opinion is a mistake, because now Sebosch is going to take plow sow for the sow action.
I agree with that.
Oh, actually, maybe not. I think Sebosch should block the renovation here. But it allows Hunter to take the plow sow for the sow action. It allows JML to take the plow sow with a huge amount of crops to sow.
I agree.
I think that Bigfoot made a big mistake there, not taking plow field. They're not taking plow sow and taking plow instead.
Yeah, especially since he has to look at a situation and figure that he's behind Sebosch and he needs things to fall his way this round.
Yeah.
You know, he's worried. He takes plow because he's worried, if I don't take plow, I don't get 2 fields. But if he doesn't get all 3 fields, he's probably screwed anyways.
Yeah. JML is also looking decently strong right now. Almost as many points as Sebosch. But he doesn't have that extra family member. And so, yeah. JML will probably get to family growth with his last action here. Once Hunter takes it right now. And so James... he's going to bottom out at 42 points. So Sebosch is at 41 right now, so he only needs 1 more point to top that. So Sebosch is going to get that, because Sebosch has his plow field spot for 3
Yeah,
points.
so I'm starting to look at the scores now. It's not near as high scoring as I would have thought. I mean, obviously they still have a lot of actions left, but early family growth, and there were some decent occupations in the game.
Yeah. Surprisingly, Hunter, even after his fences, is only at 35. And
yeah, he just doesn't have a lot of improvement points.
No, he doesn't. But he had a really solid farm. I was expecting him to get to around 45 points this game.
One thing that I think can be a little misleading in the scores, I guess I don't know the math on it, but I would imagine somewhere around half of games have at least 1 forward occupation in it. That kind of inflates the scores a little bit. And in this game, no one is donating points to anyone else, so it's not necessarily a low-scoring game because of that.
Well, JML's game is over with. He's got those 42 points. And unless the Hunter goes in family growth here, in which case JML will grab an animal and he'll finish with 41. I think actually Hunter should take family growth with this action. The well's not going to be bought. I think he should take family growth. He should buy the well, and he should sell if it's still there. There's a lot of things to happen, but...
Is there any chance JML just says screw you and then just builds fireplace or something like that, though?
No.
Well, I was going to say, I think Bigfoot could build the joinery.
Yeah. No.
Well, Hunter took sell.
That's interesting.
I think that was a move against Sebosch. Also, I mean, obviously, it gave Hunter food.
Yeah, it helps him feed.
But again, I think that was a move. I mean, it gave Hunter the rest of the food he needs for this game. He now has 9 food easily. But it was a move against Sebosch. Now Sebosch can't sell, and that takes away the easy 2-point action for Sebosch. You know, he still has the sheep, which is 2 points, and he still has the plow, which is 3 points. And Sebosch is definitely going to win the game.
Yeah. So, do you guys think Hunter maybe took sow there just because then he would likely get well back, whereas if he were to take family growth, that he probably wouldn't get the well back?
There's a timbered house.
Right, which is what I had expected earlier, so that makes sense. Hunter probably also knew that Bigfoot had that card.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I still would have taken plow cell if I were Bigfoot with my first action, expecting to get the plow back and hoping that starting player Half Timbered House would come around for my third action. But now I could see why he took the plow there. Just get the 4 points in the bag and not take a risk with plow cell and possibly leaving 3 points on the board and delaying the Half Timbered House. I could see him being antsy about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was probably his thinking, but I think I guess I think the error was not considering that he sort of needed everything to go his way, and you sort of have to risk it, I think.
Going back to the talking about Sebosch not taking sheep in round 13, I forgot that he had the horse. It all makes more sense now.
Oh, yeah, I forgot too.
Well, he just played it. He just played it this round when he renovated, so we didn't know.
Oh, he did? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
So it makes sense.
Okay. Either way, Sebosch is JML got to his 42 points. Sebosch is tied with him at 42. Bigfoot's at 37 right now, and I don't know where else he's got points coming to him this game.
Yeah.
Well, Sebosch has a 2-point action with plow. Oh, wow.
That's wonderful for Hunter. I don't know if it's going to be enough to get him to first place this game, but it will be enough to get him to the next round of the tournament.
And it's hard to tell if Bigfoot will be making it through or it'll be Sebosch, but I think that that's a cardinal mistake when you have an occupation like market woman. Like, you should finish with at least 6 grain, 4 vegetables, I think, most of the time.
And moldboard plow. He had the moldboard plow early. If you have moldboard plow and market woman, you should be getting a crop game going and baking grains.
Yeah, and I think Half Timbered House kind of distracts you a little bit. I'm not saying it was a bad play, but obviously it's hard to do both things at the same time.
Hunter's gonna beat Jam in this game, which it's slightly surprising to me that Hunter's gonna finish with 43 points over Jam lost 42. But even so, Sebosch is gonna beat that, and Bigfoot isn't. So yeah, it looks like it will be close between Sebosch and Bigfoot right now. But maybe not even. Bigfoot's far behind Sebosch.
Yeah, the gap was only 3 points, right? I think Sebosch has easily cleared that.
Yeah.
So it's an excellent game by Sebosch. I think the combination early and then the pastors all worked very well.
Yeah, the hay rake working with the donkey is wonderful. Now that we're looking at it like that, with the hay rake donkey, I could understand now why Sebosch did not build that second room and kept the wood for those 11 fences. But today was probably a good play.
Yeah, farm steward obviously.
Farm steward.
Yeah, farm steward is the main thing. But.
I still support Bigfoot's move to take family growth in round 12. It backfired on him, but I would have played this round differently. I would have taken Paso and then Plow. And he still would have finished with 3 fields. He would have...
Well, I think it's really hard to project where he'd be at if he were to plow in round 12 because he would obviously he would have something sown, and in round 13, it's just hard to say. But I honestly think he would have advanced if he would have plowed in round 12.
I don't know if his game was powerful enough to beat Sebosch's, even with the plow, and giving Sebosch the extra family number for round 13 and 14.
It'd be close.
Yeah.
It'd be
the implications
closer.
The implications of that move are really hard to figure out at this point. I mean, I think that at the time, I thought plow was a better move, but you never know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Sebosch just maxed out his pottery putting him up to 48 points. Easy advance for him. He's even going to advance as the top seed in this in this group.
Yeah, I thought it was a very, very well played game all around by Sebosch. You know, sort of stuck to his strategy and didn't get distracted.
Mm-hmm.
And so then how big was Hunter's plow block in round 13 then? You know, looking at the scores now.
Yeah, it guaranteed that Hunter would advance to the next round. It was definitely a very good move for him and a great move for Sebosch also. Because Bigfoot, he finishes the game with 40 points here, or so, around that much, and so it was close between Bigfoot and Hunter at the end. It's only a 2-3 point difference over there, so I'm just looking at that. That was probably a really crucial moment for Hunter to get that block. Very good for Sebosch, and it's a shame that Bigfoot couldn't get more crops and plows.
Yeah, I think Bigfoot's going to end up at 41, actually, once he breeds those cows, so...
Yeah.
It's very close, 2-point difference.
Wow. I think that if Bigfoot had prioritized plowing earlier in the game, we would have seen him advance.
I think so, too.
And then now it goes back to that round 12 move that I was asking you about beforehand, Joe. If Bigfoot had taken plow in round 12, do you think he would have beaten Hunter?
I think so. I mean, and I don't know about half timber. Like, I wasn't sure how many moves he was using to gather the resources to play it. It was kind of hard to tell, but it had us guessing all along what he was doing with it. In the end, you know, it's worth 4 points, so...
Yeah.
My guess is it probably wasn't worth it, but who knows?
Yeah, it's also interesting, too, because when he took Family Growth, we were saying that it might have been aimed at blocking Sebosch, and now at the end of the game, we see that it was actually Hunter who he really needed to compete with, in which case I think Plow was a better move, but it's hard to, you know, it was, even in round 12, we weren't thinking that he was competing with Hunter. We thought he was competing with Sebosch, so it's, you know, when does he make the realization that, oh, shoot, I need to focus on Hunter instead of Sebosch? That's a really tough call.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a part of that, at least for me, perhaps other players too, is that, you know, you're just like, oh, it's Hunter. He'll find a way to, you know, slap out 50 points, whatever. But, you know, that's not always the case. So.
Yeah.
Hunter does have a reputation. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Sometimes it works for you, sometimes against you, I think.
Like JML is now saying that he first picked the Carpenter. So yeah, not such great cards in this game. If you would look at now and seeing the cards, occupations that are played now, which one would you say is the strongest? Would you say it would be the market one or the farm steward?
I would say grocer was probably the best occupation, and combined with dancer, that's pretty strong, really.
Yeah. But it's just interesting. So Sebosch did not necessarily have the strongest cards, but he had the strongest combination.
That's true, yeah.
That was definitely what pushed him forward. He won the game by 5 points. That's a huge margin. So congratulations to Sebosch there. Really, really well played game. He's going in as the top player in this group to the next round.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys. Hunter just added me on Skype, so I'm going to be bringing him into this call. Connecting.
Hey guys, it's Hunter.
Hello. Hey, Hunter. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much.
That's
myself and the other two. Yeah, myself and the other two here were trying to highlight what we thought were some of the more important moves of the game. In round 13, we thought your plow block ended up advancing you to the next round. Were you thinking ahead that much at the time, or what did you think of that move?
Yeah, I mean that was intentional, trying to slow Bigfoot down, being sure that that I had a higher score than him, and because I felt like I was going to have enough of a margin over JML that as long as I beat Bigfoot, I'd move on.
Sure. In round 14, there was a move I was curious about. You took So. We were thinking, family growth or building the well, perhaps. Obviously, we didn't know you had Stonebreaker at the time. Why did you decide on So?
Yeah, it just shored up my food, scored me a couple of points, and then, like you said, I knew I had Stonebreaker in hand, and it's kind of a fun play, right? Because nobody ever plays Stonebreaker for
Sure.
a good use, so it was kind of a fun play too.
Yeah. I want to actually bring you back to the beginning of the game. When you played the wood distributor in round 4, I think it was, when there was no wood. When you played it, did you have any intention on distributing it, or was it just strictly, it was round 3 actually, or was it strictly get the first room with those 2 wood?
Yeah, it was to ensure the first room. I mean, once Clay Worker comes out, I know other people are going to benefit more. It's also nice that I can, break up 6 woods and stuff like that from opponents with it. But it was mostly to assure the first room, and I needed to get a second occupation out for a couple of my miners, so it was accomplishing those goals.
Okay, and going back to the draft with the wood distributor, why did you pick it if you didn't have cards that go with it? Did you see the Clay Worker in the draft? Did you want to keep it away from other people, or did you just take it because it was the best card in the vacuum?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot else, and I think he was my 4th pick, and there wasn't much else in that pack. Not so much a block as much as 2 woods sometimes useful, controlling woods sometimes useful. So it was just the best card, I think, that was there for me.
Okay.
What did you, Hunter, this is Matt, what did you think about Bigfoot's decision to take family growth with his first faction in round 12? That was when we were going back and forth on a lot. We were expecting him to plow.
Let me see. I guess I wasn't thinking too deeply about that at the time. That's tough because JML already had a lot of fields, and Sebosch has the, plow with your 3rd action. So I think it's a reasonable play for him to family grow, but, I think he maybe got a little unlucky that the plow got blocked up on him, and I'd have to look at it closer to see what I think I would have done, but.
Yeah, I mean, I think the tournament format makes it really, different from normal games where you kind of have to consider people in a different light than sometimes you normally did. I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. It is very strange when you're, not necessarily playing to win. You're more playing to be sure you advance or whatever.
So here's an interesting question. At what stage in this game, if you're thinking about the playing to advance, did you stop thinking about stopping Sebosch necessarily from passing you because it seemed obvious that his power play was going to get ahead, and did you start looking at stopping Bigfoot?
Well, I think, early in the game I'm just looking to, get off to a good start and play my game. And I felt like my start was, good enough with early family growth and the first 1 to 4 that I was in decent shape. And then, so sort of late mid-game, I start, just trying to be sure I'm well positioned. And I really wanted to get that center plow done and then use that card to remove that extra field. And that got jammed up a little more. I had to play that passing miner on a major action just to get it done. So I could have had a little better tempo in some of that game, but it's a tough game, lots of good players.
Yeah.
There was one other move at a point in the game I was curious about. It was round 11, and you chose to take Dancer over a cow, which was the same amount of food for you. What were you thinking at the time when you decided to dance instead take the cattle, and then letting the cattle go to 2?
Yeah, I don't remember thinking very deeply about this. I think maybe, do you remember how much food was on Traveling Players at the time?
There's 2 food on traveling players.
2 or, yeah, I think it was 2.
I mean, in some ways, I'm trying to manage traveling players to be sure that that action's there for me if I need it. So maybe that's what I was doing, but I don't remember thinking very deeply about it.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I think one of the benefits of being an observer is that you're kind of looking at every move, and I know from experience what you're saying, that when you're playing, sometimes the little things get swallowed up.
Sure.
Also, as an observer, we don't have strategies that we're trying to protect and develop.
And so I assume you had to take Dancer with your first pick this game, or second pick at worst?
No, Dancer, I think, was in my opening pack, which I took Grocer first from. So that, Dancer and Grocer kind of go together, right? It gives me that extra food I need for Grocer.
So they passed them all the way back to you for your fifth pick?
Can you imagine?
That's ridiculous. No wonder you advanced.
And somebody had, the next best card in my opening pack was Patron, but that never came out, obviously.
The occupation does not look to be so strong, so not so surprising.
Yeah, right. And there were some other interesting cards in the draft, like Brushwood Collector was in the draft, and Reed Buyer was in the draft, and so, with Grocer, I was okay on Reed, so I was kind of in some ways hoping that Reed Buyer would come out, but it didn't.
The Thrushwood, is it Thrushwood Plow, the middle center plow, combined with the plow a field clear, that was pretty interesting. How high did you have to draft that?
Not very. That center plow card, I think, was my fourth pick, and I had already passed the moldboard plow at that point, and then the remove the field card came. That was in my opening pack, so that was my next pick after that, which was good because that was a terrible pack. So that I got something useful out of that fifth pick was good.
Was that on your first pick from that hand?
No, I took Beanfield was my first pick of my minors, and then I got the Abandoned Willow on the rebound.
Okay. Did you have any particular dilemmas in the draft that you'd like to share?
Yeah, there's nothing really interesting. I did have Woodworker in my hand, which again with Dancer maybe I thought about playing, but I don't know, timing didn't feel quite right. I drafted Scholar third, but then there was no support for Scholar. So the draft picks were kind of boring overall. But I did take Stonebreaker. Yeah. He was my seventh pick, so that was good value to get out of it.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, there weren't a ton of France cards in this game, and nothing too crazy this game. I thought it was pretty standard.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Overall, how do you feel about the France deck and the aspect that they bring to the game, the cards?
Oh, I think it's interesting. I feel like there's more interaction with France deck cards, so I think it is a little more of an advanced deck where, you have to know the cards a little better and be paying attention to other people's farms a little more than maybe the base game, but it seems like a solid deck overall.
All right.
Well, yeah, thanks very much. Congrats, Hunter. I think we're going to wrap up with that. If you guys want to have any shout-outs or thank yous you want to say, go ahead.
I'd just like to give a shout-out to Ish. You were right. If you get 2 Reed in round 2, well, I guess Hunter didn't win, but he did advance, so your theory about Nur FG proves true.
He's going to be really happy about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. I think that's a good thing to end on.
Also, Sebosch has been playing really great games so far this tournament. Congratulations to him.
Yeah. So has he come back in the second game? Because I think he came from behind in the second game as well of the first round. I would have to look at it, but yeah. Anyways, congrats to both Sebosch and Hunter.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Congrats, Hunter.
Excellent. Until next time.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.